Welcome to Florida Education News. My name is Dr. Tony Arza, and today I have the pleasure of sitting down with Donovan Bradley, a school board candidate in Duval County.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
So it's nice to see young people get involved in politics. One of the big things that we're trying to do at Florida Education News is we want to make sure that voters have the opportunity to meet the people who are running for school board. And so we reached out, wanted to sit down and get a sense of what motivated you, what made you want to get involved in the school board in Duval County.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for having me, and it's an honor to be here. I'll say I got an appreciation for education at a very young age. I'm the oldest of three. I was born and raised here in Jacksonville, and my mom is a 30-year public school teacher here in Duval County. So she was a single mom growing up and raised us on a teacher's salary. So I definitely, I look back at now as an adult and wonder how she did it sometimes. But I have to say, we used to grow up volunteering in her classroom before and after school. My mom always worked summer school, so I would help out with students. And particularly, my mom worked with special needs kids. So half the students in her class had Down syndrome or ADD, ADHD. The other ones were general ed. So I got a real good, a strong appreciation for the students and how a great teacher in the classroom can make all the difference. In my professional life, I got the bug for public policy. I come from a family of public servants. And so I ended up out of high school moving to Tallahassee and worked for two different state representatives. Got to write some policy, which was really, really rewarding, and also work with the navigations of educational policy and others of that magnitude. So I am in this race. One of the main reasons for that is because when I was in high school here at Duncan U. Fletcher High School, I was actually encouraged not to go into the workforce. At the time, I wanted to go in the military out of high school, and I had school faculty members encourage me not to do that. They told me that if you don't go to college, you can't be successful. And I've seen that that's not true. And one of the major reasons I'm in this race is because I want to expand career and technical education for the students that don't want to pursue that higher education route. So it's been great. I've loved the opportunity to connect with so many friends, neighbors, and former teachers. And hopefully we'll all be celebrating here in August and really move the needle on some opportunities for students here in Duval County.
So it sounds like you have a lot of different experience.
Absolutely.
So your mom was a teacher, so you have experience as a son of a teacher. You've been in the public school system your whole life. And then you share a little bit about the policy experience that you have in Tallahassee. How do you think that those experiences will help you on the Duval County Public School Board?
Well, I think immensely, because I'm in a unique position to where I can relate to some of the students that are graduating from public and high schools now and making that career transition into the career workforce. But also, as the son of a teacher, I've seen some of the struggles that teachers have had to deal with. And as a policy wonk, if you will, I've gotten to actually move the needle on policy that's important to students, parents, and constituents here. So that's a big job of a school board member, is to be able to enact policy and change policy where you see fit. And having worked for the state of Florida and the state government, I think I'll be a huge asset to the Duval County School Board.
One of the big policy changes in public education has been the universal vouchers. And something that a lot of people and voters are wondering is where the school board candidates stand on school choice. You've had board members throughout the state that have been very vocal against school choice, and they push back because they say that there's declining enrollment for public schools. And then there are those that claim that traditional public schools have had a monopoly in public education for a long time, and finally there's an authentic choice for parents in the state of Florida. The voters, regardless of where people stand, they want to know where the candidates stand. So where do you stand on school choice?
Well, that's a great question. I am a supporter of school choice, and I'll tell you why. I don't believe that education is a one-size-fits-all approach. I don't. I mean, what works for some parents, it doesn't work for others. What works for some students doesn't work for others. So I think that we need to be aware of that and make sure that parents have that choice. And let's remember that school choice doesn't just mean going from public school to charter school. As a student in Duval County, I utilized school choice to attend one public school outside of the one that I was zoned for, and that's a huge opportunity. It makes all the difference in the life of the child, and ultimately that's what we should be focused on as a school board. And as a school board member, that will be my top priority, is making sure that the student and the parent has the best opportunity, best educational option available to them. That doesn't go without saying. We need to ensure that Duval County Public Schools remains competitive, that our enrollment numbers go up, and I think the changes that I like to see, expanding that career and technical education, is going to be a huge driving factor in ensuring that our enrollment goes up. And hey, we look at parents and say, hey, we're an option. We want you to choose us because there's great schools here, and that's what we should be focused on.
One of the big things that people don't realize when they think about school boards is they don't think about billion-dollar budgets, but Duval County Public Schools has a $3 billion budget.
Yes, sir.
And if elected, you would be responsible with the rest of the board to decide how that budget is serving the taxpayers. How will you make sure that budget is doing everything that it can to support the local economy? Obviously, the number one issue for voters in the state of Florida and this country is affordability. How, as a school board member, will you hope to make sure that those dollars, those hard-earned taxpayer dollars, are working for the constituents in your district?
Well, I think the first thing that we have to do is ensure that we're spending within our means. I mean, as you mentioned, there is an affordability issue, especially among younger people that are transitioning into the workforce. So ensuring that the government remains spending within its means, I think, is a top issue. But also ensuring that every dollar that we spend is focused on student achievement and going to programs that help benefit students and obviously parents in return. So I do have experience navigating large budgets. As a legislative aide, I helped negotiate the state of Florida's $113 billion budget. So I do believe that I will be a huge asset in tweaking fine things here in Duval County. But yes, everything that we spend money on should be prioritized on ensuring that students here have the best education as possible, as well as ensuring that taxpayers know that we're spending their dollars wisely.
Is there anything else that you want the voters in Duval County to know about you and that we haven't talked about today?
Well, it's really been an honor. Like I said, as a proud public school kid and the son of a public school teacher, I want Duval County schools to be as best as they can be. I do believe that we do a lot of things right. Duval County gets a lot of things right, but there's a lot of things that we could do better. And I'm in a unique position because, as I said, I'm young enough to relate to some of the students now, but old enough and wise enough to be able to make policy changes that affect our teachers, that affect our parents, and ultimately the student success here in Duval County. So it's been great. I would be honored to serve on this board, and God willing, I get the chance. We're gonna make some great changes here.
Thanks so much for sitting down with us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Pleasure.